Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, we've been waiting a long time for this. The Raiders have officially said that Davante Adams has requested a trade. We are sponsored by Jets X Factor. Follow us on Twitter, hit us up, DM us. But Matt, Davante Adams has requested a trade earlier than we thought. Interesting.
Earlier than we thought is correct. Did not think it was going to happen on October 1st, but we are here. And obviously the Jets are probably a top 3 or 4 team on his wish list. And Mike, what I come back to is, does Joe Douglas make this move and prioritize 2024? You have one of these jobs potentially in a lifetime. Robert Saleh for 20 plus years wanted to be a head coach. Joe Douglas for 20 plus years have wanted to be the GM. They've sat in coaching rooms, in front office meetings, and for the entire time, they probably thought, I will have an opportunity one day to be a part of something bigger than just a cog in the wheel. They are the wheel. They're the guy. And now they became the guy. And they have been given a longer leash than any other tandem, what feels like in modern NFL history, when you don't make the playoffs. And I will give them credit. They traded for Hassan Reddick. They signed Tyron Smith. They got Rodgers in 2023, and they signed Mike Williams. I'm asking for another move. One more move to really take you over the top and energize this fan base and bring some life to an offense that needs it through a quarter of the year. So my goal, get him, bring him in. We'll talk about the benefits, but Mike, I think you're clearly on the same page as me that you have to bring him in.
Yes. Come, let's go. Bring in the boys. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. And Matt, hold before we go any further. I thought what I saw, I want to preface this. What I saw in the Patriots game, I think is closer to the norm of the Jets than what we saw on Sunday against the Broncos. We have a top 5 roster in football, I think, or I thought. That's the conviction. And
Right.
I believe that. And what we saw in the Patriot game, I think, is what the Jets truly are, and not what we saw in rainy MetLife against the Broncos. That being said, either way, get this guy over here. Now, then it becomes, what do we have to trade? On paper, man, it's not the greatest fit unless you want to put Garrett in the slot, which is cool. But you do have Mike Williams and Lazard on the outside, and Garrett's slot. It would be nice. If there's going to be the rumored trade Hassan Reddick for Davante, it would be nice to have both of them. I don't know if you can afford that, but you know what I mean? Like but it just is. You just got to do it. Nice. Good cause. Then we have to throw in extra picks. Yeah. There it is. What do you think gets it done, Matt? That's the big question.
I think probably they want a second round pick now. I don't think a lot of teams are willing to go that far for a guy that will be there for probably a year. I think he's dead money in 2025 if he wanted to be. So I think a 2 is what they want. They'll probably land on a 3 in like a day 3 pick, or if there's a player that they can toss in the deal. But Mike, I want to go back to what you said about being closer to what we were as an offense in the Patriot game.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the hate right now is on Saleh, which I think is fair. He oversees the entire organization and the play on the field. And then Hackett gets more criticism too, but probably a hot take. I blame the players more than Hackett right now. I feel like when I want him to dial up a throw, and we're saying you have Aaron Rodgers, okay, throwing 42 times in the rain is a lot, but also, can the players make the play? Like, do we need to get blown up on the offensive line and
can we get a
negative
push, Matt? Can we get a fucking push?
And that's why it's like, at a point, we have to put ownership on the players. Breece Hall and Garrett have had a slow start.
Right.
The offensive line let Aaron Rodgers get hit 14 times on Sunday.
And Matt, how about this? You have first and second goal at the 1 yard line. You run up the middle with Breece Hall, who's supposed to be an all-pro type running back. I understand you have Braylon Allen, and they could have used him at some point. Get a fucking yard. And listen, remember last year we're saying, oh, Breece Hall had no carries inside the 5 yard line. Okay, Here's 2 carries, get a fucking yard. Can't do it. And again, the Solomon Thomas play is funny because it's a memeable thing where we say, all right, it's silly, all right, we have all these weapons, you want to throw the ball to Solomon Thomas. I don't hate. Then we say he's not creative enough. So fine, you want to be creative, do some weird shit. You bring in a defensive lineman. Every single person in the world thinks we're going to run the ball, and then you throw it. I probably wouldn't do it. I understand. You could bring in your massive 250-pound running back and try to let him get a yard. Fine. They should have done it on 4th down. You get a penalty. That's on Salah. Shit like that. You know what sucks too, Matt? The Jets offense got in rhythm in the Patriots game. It looked good. It's what we thought. It's what we wanted. It's all that we dreamed of. Rodgers is 27 for 35. You're going up and down the field. The Jets should have scored even more points. And then you come into MetLife and it's pouring rain and it's shit conditions. And you start the game on your own fucking 5-yard line and then the 11-yard line. And just you can't get into a rhythm. And it happens in football sometimes. And there's been a small sample of this team so far. And there's such high expectations that when something goes wrong, you want to go doom and gloom. My point is, I don't think the Jets need to get Davante Adams because the offense is not good enough, or because it's struggled so far. It's because we're trying to win a Super Bowl, and you tweeted it out. There's an All-Pro player available who clearly has ties to your quarterback. Go get him. You went and got Alan Lazard because he has ties to your quarterback. Go get the All-Pro. Bring him in.
Yeah, and I think, again, I'm the CEO of bad analogies that are either 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. So I'm going to give you one. In Breaking Bad, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Breaking Bad.
Why are you saying that? Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
In the show,
this helmet's really hot.
Walter White
Let's fucking take that shit off.
Is dying of cancer, and he could either let it kill him, which is going to inevitably,
good analogy,
or he's going to make one last run in his final year and a half of life and cook meth. So I'm asking Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh to cook meth right now. Go out with a bang, and if it all falls apart and you're laying on that floor in that lab, the camera's panning away, you can sit back and smile and say, okay, I built something. It was a good ride, and now it's over. Make that happen. Is that a 10 out of 10 or is that a 0?
That's really good. That's one of your better ones. Good. That was pretty good. I'd love some fucking meth right now. Dude, they gotta. I agree, Matt. It's really well said.
But Mike, one more thing.
Poetic.
I want you to think about this. Super Bowl roster. Don't even put the Jets logo on the team. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. Again, 40 years old. 5 touchdowns this year. Should be 0 picks. Looking like a top 8 guy still. You have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen as your running backs. You have Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and as your 4th guy is Alan Lazard. You have an average tight end. You have a Hall of Fame left tackle. 3 interior guys that are either young or combined under 27 years old, maybe high upside. And then you have a veteran right tackle when Morgan Moses comes back. That offense alone is absolutely AFC Championship worthy. And then guess what? I know the defense has had like 3 or 4 bad quarters to start the year, but you still have a championship level defense. Like, that is why I want to make this move, because instead of putting more pressure on Garrett, who's had a slow start, you can take a little bit off him.
Yep.
Alan Lazard can be that guy off the bench that when they run 15 straight routes, like, he could get open and he can make a play. I want it bad. I know the fit, like you mentioned, not like you can get like a burner, a better slot guy than Xavier Gibson. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Play Garrett in the slot, do whatever you want. Yeah. But if you can't win with this roster, then you know for a fact you don't have the right coaching staff in place. And that's just the bottom line. Do the players need to play better? Definitely. But if you can't get the most out of this talent, you don't belong in the NFL as a coaching staff.
Yeah, man. How about Reddick doesn't report and Jermaine Johnson tears his Achilles? You have Will McDonald, unbelievable depth. Morgan Moses hurts his knee. Olu Fashanu, unbelievable depth. If you get a big injury to the wide receiver core now without Davante Adams, gets very suspect very quickly. That is taken away if you have Davante Adams. Taken away. And Matt, to your point about the defense, the last 2 games, 139 yards of offense against, 186 yards of offense against. You have to win these games, and then they will. Especially if you add another monstrous All-Pro receiver.
I'm with you. And the other thing I keep thinking back to is I'm more disappointed in the play on the field than I am with the record. If you told me that in the first quarter of the year they'd be 2-2, I would say, hey, they probably needed to knock some rust off. Rodgers wasn't probably playing great. They need to start gelling as a group, and they will figure it out. That
Yeah,
seems better than how we feel right now. And the reason we
I
feel the
know.
way we do is you got curb stomped week 1 that you just weren't ready for. You had
Right.
2.5 really bad quarters in Tennessee. You kicked the shit out of a Patriot team who might be a top or bottom 3 worst team in the NFL on a short week. And then the Broncos game is a mess of garbage with bad offense, terrible conditions. If you chalk that game up to a 0, then you played 6 good quarters and 6 bad quarters, and guess what? You're 2-2. So they probably are what they should be. And now that they've gelled and knocked off the rust, Minnesota cannot continue. They're not going to be
No,
9-0.
too much. Too much.
Let's bring him back down to earth. And we love Sam Darnold, but it's that meme of the guy holding the gun and just like crying, because that's how we feel. We want Sam Darnold to go 1 for 50 with 49 interceptions. That's truly how I want the game to go.
Why do
And
you
if
want
you
him to have
don't,
a
if you also
completion?
don't want to go that way, you're a weird fan. We love Sam Darnold more than
Sam's the
anybody.
boy. That's my favorite guy. Yeah.
I hope he throws 49 interceptions on Sunday.
Yeah. And listen, again, like you said, the Vikings have to come down to earth. It doesn't mean Sam is necessarily going to throw multiple interceptions, but how many times are you going to throw 4 touchdowns, especially against a pass defense like the Jets? The Jets match up well with the Vikings on paper, with the Vikings having a good passing attack when you can put Sauce on Jefferson and you can have DJ Reed shadow Addison, and there's no Hawkinson yet. And their running game isn't quite as rugged as some of these other teams that have given the Jets problems. So you have to forget about it. You just want to stack normal games. And that's why I'm so frustrated. Again, it's not an excuse to lose the game against the Broncos. It's not. The weather was very obnoxious and the worst time because you finally saw what we thought we were going to see. And again, it just comes down to, poor coaching because you have a better team and you lose the game. Poor execution by the players, which we've been talking about. And poor weather conditions don't help a sinking offense, not SINK, SYNC, sinking up offense, trying to gel together in garbage conditions. So I think Davante could help all of that. And Matt, we weren't supposed to lose games 10-9 anymore when we let up 180 yards of offense on defense. And to your point, when you said the way that the Jets' record feels compared to how they've been playing, Rodgers has played better than 2-2, and the defense has also somehow kind of played well. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And it comes down to what you were saying again, where you need more out of Brees, you need more out of Garrett, you need more out of Quinnen. Sauce has been great, but make a game-changing play. Somebody make a game-changing play. Do something. And it's going to happen. I have a lot of conviction that it's all going to happen. It feels great moving forwards, but things can get dicey real quick now. You have a couple of tough games, Matt, coming up. And we don't have a lot of years to fuck around with this.
Yeah, and if you looked at even the past 2 years, the Jets have won games that we chalked up to, they're probably not going to win that one, and they dropped games where we thought we were going to walk in. So,
of course,
the main objective during week 5 and 6 is do not get to 2-4. That's the main objective.
You
if you
can't
get
be
to
2-4, Matt. It's going to be a disaster. Then we have problems. The whole media is a shit show. The fans are, for no fault of their own, have no more patience. You just can't. And but it does come down to this: if you win this game against the Vikings, and you're 3-2, you're playing for first place no matter what. Week 6, it's going to be an electric factory, and we're going to feel good again. I just wish it was a little bit more even keeled. And this is me saying that after I said the Jets are winning the Super Bowl last week. But the difference is, I say the same thing every week, and it's not, hey, Rodgers is going to win the MVP, and then you lose a bad game with shit weather in a very disappointing performance, and the Wall Street Journal and a lot of fans are like, we suck. We just need to be a little bit more even keeled. And again, I'm guilty of being very, very high, but I think I've been this way the whole time since the Jets got Aaron Rodgers. So want to stay consistent I want a little consistency. That's what I want.
And the only thing I would add, and you said you can't go 2-4, and I agree. You have to do everything in your power to avoid going 2-4. The Jets are definitely dogs. They're 2.5-point dogs against Minnesota. They will be dogs against Buffalo, and on the road in Pittsburgh, you're
We'll see,
probably
Matt.
an under.
We'll see. We'll see about dogs against Buffalo. If we're 3-2 and we beat the shit out of the Vikings, and the Bills lose again like they did last week, fuck them. They play the Texans. What if they get their ass kicked again? Why do we have to be dogs at home? I disagree with you.
Say it's a pick 'em.
Sure.
Say it's
It's
a
a
pick 'em.
toss up, at least. The best.
So you're a dog this week. You're a pick 'em the following week, and if you're in Pittsburgh, you're 2-point dogs again potentially. My point
It
is,
depends. If we're 4-2, we're not going to be dogs. But I hear what you're saying. It's going to be tough games.
even if, when you look at those three, the betting odds are you probably come out of that as 3-5. Truly that's what it would be. Or what, 3-4?
3-4.
3-4
If you
is
go 1-2, you're 3-4. Yeah.
that would be the betting odds based on probably how the Lions shape out. Now, they could easily go 4-3. They were dogs last year, 2 years ago in Green Bay, right? They beat Buffalo at home as a 7-point dog. Like they've proven they can do this. And that was 2022 Buffalo.
How about this, man? How about this? I'm sick of all this shit. Let's look at our quarterback. I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Sam Darnold, even though we love Sam and he's having a great year. Fuck that. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over Justin Fields. Fuck that. And then Josh Allen is unbelievable. And then we play the stupid Patriots on the road. I'm sick of all this shit. I saw what I saw week. I'm not saying you're saying the opposite. I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm talking to everybody else. I'm talking to everybody else. I saw what I saw week 3. I saw it. I watched it with my eyes. I tweeted out after the game because Jets played on Thursday. I watched the games on Sunday. I said the Jets are better than all of this dog shit in the league. This is a weak NFL this year. And the Jets are going to come out and make a statement the next couple of weeks. And it can only help if we get this maniac Davante in here. It can only help. But we're going to see the real team is what we saw 2 weeks ago, because you can't make that shit up. You don't play a game like that. I know it's against an inferior type opponent, but the Patriots played some good games to start the year. Fuck that. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of hearing about it. That's why I'm so sad that Greg Zuerlein can't make that fucking kick and bail us out of that game, because then we could be 3-1 and we could say, listen, it was a little disappointing. We'd be optimistic. We'd be 3-1. We'd be feeling great. Instead, now we'd say, oh, we're 2-2. I'm scared of Justin Fields. I'm scared of Sam Darnold. Fuck these guys. We're going to beat the hell out of these teams. That's what we should do. We're an elite roster, Matt. Elite. I'm sick of it.
I agree with you.
I'm getting fed up.
I agree with you on Aaron Rodgers being better than Justin Fields and Sam Darnold and who knows, Josh Allen toss-up. What is the second then most important aspect of a head-to-head matchup?
You think it's coaching?
I think it's coaching. And I think right now the Vikings coaching staff is on fire. I think the Bills coaching staff has historically been pretty good, especially in September. And I think Mike Tomlin at home is very challenging. Now, Robert Saleh has beaten Mike Tomlin on the road. He has beaten Buffalo at home. So it's not unprecedented that they can win these 2 out of 3. Has he played well in London? With the Falcons game was the only one he coached in London, which was the worst. Game. On your birthday, by the way.
2021. That's right.
I had COVID. Wait, when's your birthday? This
It is next Thursday, which is no
in the city.
Oh, you come to the roof on Friday the 11th.
Friday the 11th.
Come to my apartment. Everyone who's listening at this, if you listen 19 minutes in, you come to my roof. You DM me.
Birthday. I always got to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe twins.
It's also Yom Kippur.
Oh, it's a big day.
My dad's not a religious Jewish guy. I planned the party on the 11th, which is Yom Kippur. He's like, oh, Yom Kippur, maybe you could do it the next day. I'm like, what are you, insane? Listen, if you are a religious practicing person, 100%, that's a very valid thing. You don't want to, you have to fast on Yom Kippur. My dad does horrible things. He drinks. I'm sure he had underage sex. He's going to hell no matter what. He can't come to my birthday party because he can't eat. Get the fuck out of here. Ridiculous.
So what does the Torah say you can't do that he's done?
Everything. What do you everything? He drives on Saturday. I don't know. He does everything. What the hell? It's
He
unbelievable.
drives on.
You can't pick one thing and then do it all, not 900 other things.
He was sarcastic about Yom Kippur, though. No,
No, he's being serious.
that's crazy.
He
I
said,
thought
"Can
you
you
were.
do it?" I'm serious. He said,
I
"Can
thought
you
you're
do it
doing
on
a bit
Saturday?"
because I know your dad better than I know myself.
I know. I couldn't believe what he was talking about. And again, if you are really a religious person, 100%, that's a normal thing. He's not. Don't ask me to change my birthday party because you are deciding this is the one time you're going to practice any type of religion.
I'm stunned that
You got to
I've
ask him.
known
Yeah.
your dad since I was 8 years old. There's no way he's being. This is like a long con. He's doing a bit, and
I
he's
thought
just
he was
making.
joking. He's not. You have to ask him about it. It's unbelievable. Oh, very funny.
The Hanukkah duffel bag.
The Hanukkah duffel bag.
All right, we'll tell a story about the Hanukkah duffel bag at a later date. Mike,
Yeah.
very fun. I don't know what I'm going to title the video because the
That
first
the
10
Jets let up
minutes.
the last 2 games of 61 and 60 passing yards. You can't go 1-1 in those games.
Well, they did, and
What?
fuck.
You got to make the kick if you're Greg. You have to make the kick. We'd be 3-1, but it's all right. The
What
Jets
if
are
you ran it on first down? What if you just ran it on first down with a minute 10
right.
left?
No, it's not. It's poor coaching in that aspect. I just don't. I last week was very sloppy.
What were the 3 plays, Mike? Because it was a screen to Lazard that was dropped, thankfully, because he probably would have gotten hit behind the line.
Yeah,
Like a swing pass to Lazard, the back shoulder to Gibson. Was that on third or second down?
that was on third down. When did they go? No, that I thought that was after they got the ball back. But maybe it
Yeah,
was
on
that
that
same
final drive, I'm thinking.
on the last drive. Why am I blurry? I didn't touch anything. This is God smiting me for not fasting. This is unbelievable. Look, my hand is still there. We go. The last play. Well, the last drive. Yeah, I don't remember the first 2 plays exactly. The third play was the back shoulder to Gibson. I think they targeted Mike Williams on the second play, Matt, because he came out of the game and was tired for the third down play.
Let me find it.
Yeah, and then the fourth down play just got smoked. I guess Brees missed the blocking assignment.
Yep. So
Yeah.
first and 10,
Yeah.
Alan Lazard, incomplete, short right. That was a swing pass. Second, Rogers pass short left, yes, to Mike Williams that got 4 yards to the 32. Then the notorious says pass incomplete deep right to Mike Williams. Was this Zernline play on the first drive?
It was
Is that
the
what?
previous. No. It was this drive. The previous drive ended with Rodgers getting smoked. We thought the game was over because the Broncos could just kind of run the clock up, but the Jets stopped them. And then this drive happened. Yeah, we're
ESPN
backwards.
has it wrong then. They have that Mike Williams had a deep pass incomplete. Interesting. Whatever. We know how it went down. All right. Positive vibes. Sunday, London is calling. We're going to win. Everything's going to be all right. Mike, I got to go back to work. I have a large coffee. It's 10 o'clock at night. Subscribe, like the video. Our last video had 1,200 views. Do you see that?
Very nice.
We did good.
I'll talk about the Jets to 1,200 people every day of the week and twice on Sunday, but probably not on Sunday because we'll be watching the game. But Matt, just before you go back to work,
Saturday. You can't do it on Saturday. You can't use technology. That's what your dad says.
Before we leave, Matt, I just can't stress enough. We came into the season, we said we have all these guys. We have Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall and Aaron Rodgers and Tyron Smith and Mike Williams and Quincy Williams and Quinnen Williams and C.J. Mosley and Hassan Reddick, who's a dickbag, and blah blah blah. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And we're gonna destroy people. And if we didn't have the glimpse of it week 3, I would understand more of the negativity. And I'm not saying the Jet fans are being so super negative because they're critical. Mm-hmm. We have to keep our conviction, and we have to believe that this is the team, and this is a great team, not a good team. Buffalo Jet fan, who I love, tweeted out AFC tier rankings. So it was like, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, then mid. We're not mid, Matt. We are not a mid team. I saw what I saw. We watched it. We don't have to fluctuate so crazy week to week. We are not mid. We came into the season thinking we're great. We saw them be great. We are great. Very important.
That is true. If you think, which you do, and I believe as well, That is how the team will play in a vacuum when all things are equal.
Yes.
The problem is they have not done that outside of 4 quarters against New England and a quarter and a half against Tennessee. Like that is where Jet fans need to see it happen more.
I hear
And
you,
yet,
but Matt, we saw second half of Tennessee. You start putting together. Rodgers went up and down the field. New England 4 quarters up and down the field. You play in a dirt shit environment, fucking weather-wise crap, with a weird start to the game, in horrific weather, with a guy who hasn't played in weather in years. I want to take a step back, and I want to really listen. And if, like, gun to my head, that is not the real team.
and if you
And you
take
still
everything
should have
away,
escaped with a win. You still should have escaped with a win after all that shit. You still should have won that game.
if you take everything out and you say, okay, this is a 13 game season now.
Yeah,
you're 0-0. A lot of teams in the AFC are 0-1, right? If you
we're in
take
the playoffs right now.
so you're 0-0, right?
Yeah.
And before the year, you would have thought we were a favorite against Minnesota and probably a favorite against Pittsburgh. Those
For
two teams
sure.
were not supposed to be as good as they are. So if we think we're better than them, which you and I do think we are,
Yeah.
you could go 2-1 in this stretch, get to 4-3, get
want
the
the 3-0.
Patriots again, get to
Yeah.
5-3, and now you're in the driver's seat to control your own destiny.
I want 6-2. Aaron Rodgers wins 13 games in his career, 12 games, 13 games, 12 games. I want 4-0. If the Jets win this game last week, if Greg Zuerlein, who's an all-pro type kicker last year, makes that kick, and by all accounts you win the game, the Broncos would have had some time left. Just to preface that, which is fair. We would have said, what would the headline be? Good teams figure out how to win games like this.
Yep.
They did that. The whole game happened irregardless of the kick, and it sucked, and you still, despite all this shit, Brees Hall had 4 yards, and Garrett Wilson is getting clamped down by a couple of guys, some tough corners. He's going to be all right. They're working on the chemistry. Despite all this shit, we don't run the ball with Braylon on the 1 yard line. Solid bad. The last drive, we should have probably thrown some shorter passes on the last drive to set up Zuerlein from a closer than a 50-yard field goal in the rain. All this shit, 30 rushes for 130 yards against the defense, even though they ended up 60 passing yards. All of that, you still were in position to win the game, and we would be 3-1, and we would not be having these conversations as critically as we are.
Fair.
That's it.
Hey.
And you should go get Davante Adams.
Good video. I don't know what I'm going to title it because we only did a third of the video on Davante, but whatever.
Let's do some clickbait. Say Connor Hughes like fucking freaks out live.
Okay.
Connor Hughes seen with P. Diddy.
Connor Hughes did meth at a Diddy party. We'll get AI to have
that would be the best thing to happen at a Diddy party. It's the most legal thing.
We can get Connor Hughes AI saying there ain't no party like a Diddy party, and then Brian Costello in the background like
freak off. Yeah. Oh man.
What if that's a good? You know what? Let me hold up.
What is that? It gives you an idea. What are you doing? Well, I don't like this. We have to find a lawyer. We got to get Paul Riley to be our lawyer. The Twitter lawyer. Oh, what are you searching, Matt? This is terrifying. As the master of receipts,
no, it's just like I can like make graphics. Like who would win a freak off? Brian? Like I don't know. Embrace debate.
Can you win a freak off? Is there a winner? Are we all losers?
All right. On that note, have a good night, buddy.
That's enough. All right. So see you. Good.